Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Backpack to Briefcase this morning. Today, the topic is tailoring application materials for specific roles. And we have the pleasure today of welcoming with us Nicole Wells, who is a college recruiting manager at Zions Bancorporation. My name is Valerie Reese, and I am a career specialist here at the Huntsman School of Business. And I'm going to introduce Nicole and then let her take it away to address this important topic for our students. And then for those who are watching live, please feel welcome to leave your comments or questions in the chat, and we'll be sure to address those during the presentation. And now for the introduction. Nicole received her bachelor degree in sociology in 2016 from University of California, Los Angeles. And she has been passionate about helping students ever since her first role on UCLA's orientation staff in 2012. After graduating, she has worked in the college recruiting space and has been with Zions Bancorporation since 2019. So welcome, Nicole, and we're so excited to have you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, Valerie, and thank you everyone for joining today, whether you're joining at this very moment or sometime in the future. As Valerie mentioned, my name is Nicole Wells. I'm the college recruiting manager for Zions Bancorporation. I actually do not sit in Salt Lake City. I sit in our California Bank and Trust Bank in San Diego. And just for a little bit of perspective, I know the Zions name and the Zions company is very familiar to most students in Utah. But when most students think of Zions, they think of Zions Bank. They think of the branches, they think of your traditional banking roles going in, opening checking accounts, savings accounts, getting credit cards, loans, all that great activity that happens in our Zions branches. But something that a lot of students don't know is that there are a plethora of opportunities within Zions that are outside of your traditional banking roles. Whether it's our corporate roles that are more on the lending side, we have a very strong commercial lending group, corporate lending, agricultural lending, and many other specialty lending groups, real estate. We also have over 2,000 technology employees at Zions, really focused on cutting edge technology for our customers and our communities that we serve. We have roles in all different areas within Zions. And so even if you aren't interested in specifically a banking type role that you would traditionally think of within a financial services institution, Zions probably has an opportunity in a department that you would be interested in. So if you'd like to keep in touch after this event, please feel free to add me on LinkedIn, and I can share some of those opportunities with you. So jumping into our topic for today, really wanted to share some tips for resumes and how to really tailor your resume and your application to a specific job position. Resumes are not one size fit all, and we're going to go over some tips to help you be successful in your applications. So to start, just some basic tips. The first time a recruiter reads a resume, they read it for an average of 2.75 seconds. They're screening really quickly to see what is your educational background, when did you graduate, what's your GPA, what's your major. They're looking at the work experience that you have during school, and we're looking for the extracurricular activities that you have participated in during your undergrad or graduate career. So with that 2.5 seconds, you want the font to be readable. You want a kind of standard font. You don't want huge margins. You don't want teeny tiny margins. You just want it to be clear, consistent, and easy to read. Your resume should only be one page if you're still in school. It doesn't need to be comprehensive, and we're going to go through that a little bit more on how to figure out what are those important topics that you need to put on your resume to really showcase your skill set. What I would suggest is having a master resume with everything that you've done, every class that you've taken, every activity you've participated in, and then looking at the job description, you can pull from those points that you've already written out to figure out what is going to best be suited for that job. And with that, you're going to want a clear understanding of what the companies and organizations are looking for, and then tailor your resume to what you have to offer for that skill set. We'll go into that a little bit more as well. Also, do your research on the company because there may be activities or things that you've participated in that are part of the culture and part of the core values of the company, and you want to be able to highlight those. When I'm looking through a job description, if I'm applying, I'm thinking, okay, what are they really looking for? What's going to make the perfect candidate for this job? What's going to set you apart as an exceptional candidate? What does the employer really want? And then you want to pull out key points from that job description and use those to tailor your skills in your resume. So this is just an example of a finance student's resume. I know this says University of Utah. We can pretend it says Utah State, but you want to have the Huntsman School of Business. You want to have your degree. You want to have your GPA, any honors or awards that you've received from an educational perspective, if you've studied abroad. Another really great thing that I see right here is if you've been working through school and you say you financed 40% of your education through employment. I think that really stands out and shows me that you are a hard worker, shows me that you can multitask, that you can prioritize, and that is something that we absolutely look for. Coursework, if there are specific courses that the job description lists that they want you to have taken, list them here. A lot of applications will ask for your transcripts as well, but with that really quick initial screen through your application, it makes it a lot easier for the recruiter if you've listed those courses within your resume as well. Then you want your experience, any jobs that you've had, any clubs that you've been in. These experience and activities can really be separated how it makes sense for you. There's no standard way that it needs to be separated, but just kind of figure out, okay, maybe experience, work experience, let's say places where I got paid, and then extracurricular activities, things that I wasn't paid for. Just figure out how you want to separate it and make that consistent. You want the dates to be really clear when you started and when you ended those activities. And then the points that you want after, those are really going to be tailored to the application and to the position you're applying for. So, for example, on this finance club, collaborated with leadership to host annual finance conference involving 150 students and 20 alumni. That really tells me you have collaborated. That's a power verb. That's going to be the action that you did with leadership. So that's really a highlight that you were able to work with leaders and be that presence. Involving 150 students and 20 alumni, that shows the scope of your activities. And so really make sure that you are not putting generic points. You want to put as much detail into those points to show accurately what you participated in. Another thing that I want to mention on here is if you had any leadership roles in any clubs, definitely make sure to highlight those under your activities or your experience. So this is a job description that we have open right now for a commercial banking internship. So you don't need to read through all of this, but what I would do is I would look at, okay, I'm going to be obtaining, analyzing, and interpreting clients' creditworthiness. Has there been anything that I have done around credit that could show that I am able to do that? Was there a class where I looked at financial statements and assessed risk? I would highlight that on my resume. Listening to and communicating with potential clients and existing customers to better understand credit needs. That's customer service. Where can I show that I have experience in customer service? How can I show that I'm great at listening and communicating, whether that's in a club that I participated in or a job that I had? Did I mentor someone where I listened and communicated with them? Those are things that you would want to highlight. Consulting with relationship managers and portfolio managers in completing credit presentations. Credit presentations. All right, so presenting skills. Credit presentations don't always have to be presented, but presentation skills. Where did I present? Was that in a class that I had a group project and I was the main presenter and we got an A on that project? Reviewing and obtaining signed loan documents that accurately represent the legal and structural considerations communicated to the client. Where did I have attention to detail? What jobs did I do that really required that level of detail, that level of trust from my managers in making sure that I am accurately representing legal and structural considerations. Timely and accurate customer service resolutions. That's going to go back to that customer service again. Being timely and accurate. Those are definitely skills that you can highlight in your resume. Provide timely. I think that's something where you can show that you met deadlines, show that you were able to prioritize, and then being flexible and accepting various due diligence and portfolio maintenance responsibilities. That one's going to be a little bit more difficult if you haven't done anything of the sort. But if you ever were in an investment club and you were working with portfolio management, you could highlight those skills as well. So really pulling apart these job descriptions point by point and thinking, what have I done to show those skills? And how can I showcase those best to the recruiter? So that's kind of the first part of the job description. The second is the competencies. So those are going to be your qualifications. So bachelor's degree in business, finance, accounting, or economics. That's going to be in your top section with your education. Overall GPA of 3.0 or above. You want to make sure to list that GPA. If your GPA is a little bit lower, your overall GPA, but your major GPA is higher, you can list both of those. I don't mind seeing both of those on the resume as long as it's really clear what those numbers are. College level coursework in accounting, you're going to want to list those courses specifically under your education. And then these other points are kind of back to the previous slide. We're looking at communication, presentation, and interpersonal skills, detail-oriented, organized, analytical, leadership skills. Those are all things that you can use your previous experiences to really showcase that you have those things. Any questions so far? Feel free to put them in the chat if you have them. We'll also have some time for questions at the end. Okay. So some other things that I wanted to share for things to include on your resume, because with that really quick time frame and you wanting to be able to showcase as many of your skills as possible, there are some things you should absolutely have, and then we'll share some things that maybe you can leave off. So your name, your permanent address, and your phone number. Make sure you have your voicemail set up. I cannot tell you how many times I gave a candidate a call to set up an interview or even to make an offer and didn't have an opportunity to leave them a voicemail because it wasn't set up or it was full. A professional email. I'm sure some of you have your email from when you were 10 years old. That's soccer lover girl 16. Make sure to have something that has your first and last name in it, ideally, and something that is just professional. And then your LinkedIn URL, if you're active on LinkedIn. You can also personalize your LinkedIn URL so that it's not a really long URL, and I can share with you how to do that as well. Your university major, expected graduation date. The expected graduation date I wanted to highlight because I do see a lot of resumes that say September 2016 to present for their education. That doesn't really help me. I don't know if you're graduating now. I don't know if you took time off. I don't know where that lands you. So make sure to have your expected graduation date, your GPA, and then any relevant coursework. Like I said, work experience could be any paid position, leadership and involvement, any student groups, add your role or title, any academic projects if those are relevant, especially for the job description. Any volunteer experience. Companies love to see that you are involved in the community, so make sure to highlight that if you have it. Any awards and honors if you have them. And then under the skills section, I do see a lot of Microsoft Office, Zoom, things like that. We're expecting that if you are going to school right now, if you're getting your 4-year degree, that you understand how to use Teams, you understand how to use the Microsoft suite, you understand how to use Zoom. So under those skills, I would say mainly any languages that you speak beyond kind of your primary language, and any technical skills. So any languages, any coding languages, any specific technical skills that you've acquired beyond your education, and then any of your soft skills, so leadership, prioritization, communication, any of those should be highlighted in the points that are on your resume. You don't need to put them there, and we should really be able to see those soft skills in your interviews or cover letter. And then just really quickly, some points for cover letter and LinkedIn, because I think these things do come into your total application. Cover letters, I think, are only necessary, one, if a company requires them, you're going to have to do them. But two, if there's anything on your resume that may need extra explaining. If you are applying for an internship in computer science, but you are an English major, talk in your cover letter about the skills that you have there and why you're looking for an internship that isn't directly correlated to your degree. If you took time off from school, if you changed your major, if your GPA is a little bit lower because you've been working full time, or because you switched your major. I switched my major from math applied science to sociology. You know, my first couple years in those math courses, I did not have the highest grades. And so, you know, if I needed to share that information, that would be in a cover letter. And then your LinkedIn can be comprehensive. You can have everything you've ever done on your LinkedIn, because recruiters and managers can really just scroll through there whenever they have the opportunity and see what is relevant to the position that you're applying to, and to learn a little bit more about you. You want to make sure to have a professional picture. I've seen a lot of pictures where it's, you know, a fraternity composite picture and it says proof all over the picture, or where you've cropped someone out and so it's half of your face. Just, you know, have a friend. Everyone's got a phone that has a great camera these days. Find a blank background, a solid color wall, put on a blazer, and go ahead and take a professional picture, and you should be covered. You don't need to go pay to have something taken, but just make sure that we can see who you are. An objective, if you want one, that is a section that is optional on LinkedIn. But if you are searching for jobs or you're open to specific opportunities, that objective section can be really helpful. There is an open to work frame that you can put on your picture. That just helps, you know, if I'm looking for potential candidates and I see that, I can go onto their profile and know that they're looking, and maybe they'll get, or I'll get a better response to my message. And then editing your LinkedIn URL. As I mentioned earlier, your default LinkedIn URL is really long. You're not going to want to put that on your resume or share that, but you can change it. Mine is Nicole-Wells, and that's really easy for people to find me, really easy for folks to, or for me to put that on my resume and folks to click on it. So those were all of the tips that I had for your application. Really just make sure that your application showcases who you are. It does not have to be comprehensive. It does not have to show everything. It really just has to show enough that a recruiter or a manager wants to know more, and then they'll set up an interview to know more. You know, make sure that your resume is tailored to your application. Make sure that you've really read through that application in depth to figure out what that company wants and what that manager wants. That'll also help you in your interview. you'll be able to really highlight those skills that's going to make you successful in the application process. So with that, I know we still have a few minutes left. Any questions on applications, on tips, tricks, how to stand out? Any questions on Zions?
I'll unmute myself. Thank you so much for being here with us. We do have some questions
Perfect.
to ask. Let's see, I'll put the first one up. Is how can I avoid some common pitfalls when it comes to tailoring application material? So, what are some maybe common things that you see either happening or not happening?
Absolutely. So one of those things that I've mentioned is students that want to just put everything that they've ever done on their application. If a resume is too long or too complicated and I'm screening candidates really fast, I might just move on to the next and come back if I have time. So you want to make it simple enough that a recruiter can look through it very quickly. The other thing that I've seen is we want your application to accurately be who you are and not, how do I say this? If you were to go onto the Zions website and look at all of our core values, I've had applications where they just list, these are my core values as well. We want your application to show how you fit in with those core values. You don't have to have 100% of the same core values as we have. That's fine. We fully open diversity of thought and backgrounds into our organization. And so we want it to be you. We want you to showcase what you can bring to the company. It doesn't have to 100% align to everything in the job description. We are just looking for enough of those core skills that you would be successful, and then we can really work and train you from there. So making your resume short enough is one thing, and then just making sure that you've done your research and make your application you.
Right. Yeah, I like that. And it's interesting hearing the time is shortened. We used to tell students that recruiters spend 7 to 8 seconds. So we can now modify that to 2.75.
I haven't timed myself, so don't quote me on that. That was a stat that I saw, and just
Yeah.
thought
But yeah, very brief time, right?
yes. And I think there's a question in the chat from Catherine as well. I'm currently doing my master's in econ, but I did my undergrad in music and econ. And as a result, I don't have many business clubs or internships on my resume yet. Any tips about how to put info on my music degree into a way that's attractive to employers in the business world? Yeah, definitely. I think music is one of those things that takes so much dedication. You have so much time that you're practicing. You have presentation skills, even if you don't think it, from being on stage and performing. I guess I still am a musician, but was a musician in my past life. Haven't picked up the clarinet in a number of years. But I think just really looking at what are those things that I gained as a musician, what are those skills, and I think you can really tailor those to any job. Just making sure that you are saying, well, I was working while practicing this many hours while maintaining this GPA. I traveled for performances. I did all of these things. Those are going to be things that are absolutely able to be showcased. But I think that that's where the cover letter can come in a little bit as well, to say, I did my undergrad in music. Here's why I decided to pursue my master's. Here are what my career goals are. And I decided that I needed, additional education in order to get there. So that's one of those things where if I was looking at your resume, I would think, undergrad in music, but then master's in econ. I wonder what the rationale was there. And then we could really look at that cover letter to get more information. It's absolutely not a negative. I just hired someone who has an undergrad in kinesiology and is getting their MBA in banking. Very different. But they decided that they wanted to pursue banking and knew that they needed that extra education to get them from kinesiology into banking. And so they did it. And so I think just really sharing enough information that a recruiter or whoever's reviewing your application can see your skill set and see kind of where you're wanting to go.
Perfect.
Thanks for the question, Catherine.
Yes. And we have another one. Let's see. What advice would you give to students about networking with recruiters?
I would say start early. I get a lot of inquiries during recruiting season, and to be completely honest, my schedule is full during recruiting season. And so if I have the capacity, I would love to network, outside of the applications and events that I'm doing, the interviews. But if I get inquiries over the summer, I will schedule time with you. I'll chat with you. I have so much more time then or in December. And so I think just starting early, looking at the companies that you want, sharing that information on LinkedIn. Hi, Nicole. I came across Zions. I was really interested in the risk field, and I saw that there's a lot of opportunities within Zions. Do you have 30 minutes to set up a call to chat about the area? Yeah, absolutely. Let's chat. And then, we can talk about opportunities when they arise. So starting early, not trying to network right during busy times, because you're probably not going to have a whole lot of luck. And I know that can be really disheartening when you're not getting responses from recruiters when you're really trying. And it's just that it's busy, and we're just working with the time that we have. But if you reach out during off cycles or during off times, you'll generally get much more of a response. And we may even connect you to someone in the department for an informational interview. We're here to help, and we want to see you succeed as well.
Excellent. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. We have one announcement before we go. And as Nicole has identified some key strategies on how to tailor our applications for specific roles, this leads us to our next Backpack to Briefcase, which will be a month from today on March 18th, same time at 9 a.m. We'll actually have a panel of 4 industry professionals on unique markets. So be sure to join us. And once again, Nicole, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to be with us and to share with our students on how to tailor our application materials.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for joining. As I mentioned, if you're interested in Zions at all, feel free to add me on LinkedIn and we can definitely chat. I know I just mentioned that it's busy season, but I just am offering that to you, so I promise I'll respond.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your Friday and a good long weekend.